Hello, Mihaela. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm know a lot, I know that a lot of people know you on LinkedIn, but I want you to introduce yourself so people can know what's Mihaela doing and what's up with your life.
Thank you. I feel some people know me, but a lot more people hopefully will get to know me soon. I feel I also need to work on my LinkedIn strategy. But yes, I'm Mihaela. I am based in London. I've been recently in Dubai. This is how we actually came to get to know each other. But I have my own video production company. It's called Mirad Studios, and it's all about storytelling, focused, and is for impact-driven campaigns and businesses. So for all of those trying to do good in this world.
Perfect. So, Mihela, you know that this session is all about discussion about growth. So, for example, if I open the floor and I ask you what is growth for you, so how you define it? For example, in my personal opinion, we have like professional growth and personal growth. But for
Mm.
example, if I ask you growth, what's the main thought process in your mind when you heard the word growth?
It's interesting. I do agree that it's more than just professional. I myself believe in self growth. I'm an advocate for working in all aspects on growing yourself, both, like professionally, in your mind as well, spiritually, in all kinds of ways that you can develop yourself. Because I believe all of that affects your career anyway. So it's very important to start within.
Perfect. Also, if we are discussing about growth, the main thing that is aligned with the growth is the LinkedIn because if I'm seeing that in the professional career, LinkedIn makes a big part in your professional growth, like where you connect with people, where you connect with HR professionals. If you want to grow your business, LinkedIn is something is a very crucial platform. It's not like about so basically, LinkedIn is not about Instagram or Facebook where you put a reel and the next day you become a celebrity. It's more likely your achievements, your thought process, your growth, everything. So, for example, what do you think? What's the percentage LinkedIn usually have when I discuss about professional growth, and how much LinkedIn help you to grow as a personal business woman?
Well, actually, LinkedIn has played all the major parts for me in my career. Even straight after university, my jobs were all through LinkedIn. I just found them there, I applied through there, then obviously the whole process was with HR. But I already had established a page of my, what I've learned, my university, and that was completely from scratch. But from scratch, I already tried to put as much as possible my character, my experience, so it would optimize me for the career path. But not only that, so now fast forward, I do have my own business. It's a great way to connect. I did mention I came to Dubai recently. I wanted to branch out with my brand. I made a post about it. I said, "Hey, I'm coming to Dubai. Anyone would like to meet up?" And actually, I ended up meeting people in real life and connecting because of that post. Because they said, "Oh, hashtag Dubai and business. I would like to connect with you." So that was only through LinkedIn. Um, and then as well now, where do I showcase my business or where do I do the postings? Is on LinkedIn. I think there's many platforms, maybe TikTok as well. It's great to show your personality for brands as well, but LinkedIn has is the base for professionals, is the base for HR, is the base for where you can find a lot of people who are, there to be professional. And there's a lot of companies. So even if you're trying to look for a job, where would you go? I would recommend going on LinkedIn because you can find the profile there, you can find the people who work at the company. And nowadays, it doesn't just work to send a CV or apply. You do have to make extra connections. You do have to stand out, and I think LinkedIn is a great platform for that.
Perfect. As you mentioned that you recently traveled to Dubai, and to be very honest, Dubai is somehow the business hub of like
Mm.
around the world. A lot of people came to Dubai for expanding their business. There are a lot of culture. There are a lot of people traveling back and forward doing business and all. Uh, I totally understand the idea that LinkedIn is a very crucial part in your life. Then also, if we expand that topic, the main thing that comes up with that, we see that a lot of people say that please optimize your profile, the LinkedIn should be optimized, and blah blah blah. But the point is, a lot of people do struggle. What's the main idea behind optimization? How you properly optimize it? Because a lot of people don't use this platform. They might be using it just for the sake of so they can connect with HR, just completing their profile just for the sake of completing it. But optimization is a totally different ball game. For example, if I ask you, what do you think the main key features that you need to do to optimize your profile?
I think focusing on that, LinkedIn has changed a lot. It used to be about, just updating when you got a new job and just putting your profile where you have the job section as a CV style. But now it has become also a platform for content making. There's even made a creator mode. So that is, you can now create content. And that opened a new path for people to express themselves a lot easier. And I think behind every brand or behind any CV, there's a person. And now more than ever, it's really important to show yourself and that person and your character and who you are. So one important feature I would say to optimize your profile, it's really that main profile frontal page. I won't treat it just as a CV. So for example, even in the jobs that you have, I would recommend putting what achievements have you had in those jobs rather than just describing what you did, because everyone does that. So rather describe what achievements you've made, and you can have a look online what things could even match with that job descriptions or from your past experiences that would have a lot more value. And especially pay the picture, I would say make it one that's professional, even if you have to take it against the white wall, that as well. And now we have the banner. The banner is the perfect place to write as well. Who are you? You can say, I'm a content creator or website designer. Just make it catchy, because this is all about now beautifying your page and making it all about your personality and what you're trying to attract. So if you're trying to attract business, then make it according to your business focus. If you're trying to attract a job in tech, then make it focus that would match with that. Um, yeah, and then I think there's also other things like writing post and different things, but I would say really content creation as well, regarding the niche you are in. So regarding the role that you're working with.
Perfect. As you mentioned, that content creation usually re should be resembled to what you're doing and what you want to do.
Yeah.
As far as I see a lot of people are doing different strategies. Like for example, some people are as you know that LinkedIn just launched their video reels kind of a thing, and a
Mhm.
lot of people are doing that thing as well. For example, when you started your career in early stages, so people when they graduated, a lot of people don't have that importance of LinkedIn. That LinkedIn is a very professional platform, and a lot of people miss that thing. As I'm seeing that you are working in UK and you wanted to expand it, like what suggestion you gonna give to the students, for example, who are recently graduating from their universities? Is it something that they should start before their graduation? So after graduation, they have good connections, they can connect with people, because also it's important to us that you should connect with the right people. It's not like connecting with everyone. It should be as per your overall profile. For example, if we ask about each other, like we are from creative background, so a lot of people are from business, a lot of people who want to make content for their self or maybe for their companies. So what do you think? How much importance LinkedIn is for us students who are recently graduating?
I think it's very important. Like I said, I started with LinkedIn, but like you mentioned, I prepared also in advance. So that was your question, like people prepare in advance? And I think it's very important to prepare in advance. But I understand maybe sometimes at university, not everyone has the chance to work before. But you do have projects. You do have projects. You do have maybe, if possible, if you can do even some projects on the side, or if you're able to work experience, we call it here work experience, where you manage to work somewhere. That is valuable content, and that's valuable information that should go on your LinkedIn page. And if a student shares all these projects and I've did this, I went to that event, it already builds more reputation. That is someone who's active and someone who cares about their career, someone who has done something. So when someone looks at that profile, it's different from having a student who hasn't shared anything or a student who has been a bit more active. You would choose someone who's, you know, showing more interest in the career, someone who's proactive. Um, so I think it is important to start early with your LinkedIn page, even though you're not in the working environment yet. But that really would help. Like I said, I got my first job through LinkedIn as well, and I applied directly there. But I already managed to do that
Small
page.
adjustment for page
Exactly. I made
adjustment optimization. Also,
exactly.
the thing that came up in my mind while you were explaining about the overall thing, a lot of people nowadays trying or maybe using LinkedIn as Instagram or TikTok.
Mm,
They are producing content that are not related to their field, maybe just to catch the audience. Do you
mm.
think this is something that can help in the professional career? Because to be very honest, what I believe is you should be you can be creative. Like you can make reels, you should upload your about yourself, about your pictures, where you're from, what you're doing, but it should be related to your work. For example, do you think Instagram should be used as LinkedIn should be used as Instagram or TikTok?
So there's a lot of debate about this. And like I said, LinkedIn used to be very strictly professional. So there was no content creation. Now it's branching out into content creation. But I think it's important to remember there's still a lot of people who have not changed from that professional only mindset. So I think, and in my own opinion, is that we should keep it professional because it's built for a professional platform. And if you want more private, more fun, you can have your Instagram. TikTok is maybe more personable, but I think LinkedIn is very, it's good to keep in mind to still be professional. I still mention, show your personality, produce your content. That's okay, but like you said, it's important to maintain in your field, and then how you present that a bit more professionally. You would think like, what will you wear? What will you say? You're not just going to, I don't know, dress up and say something funny just for it to go viral, but has nothing to do with your career.
Agree, agree. That also come up with an idea that you just mentioned that we are just discussing about optimization and how you started. A lot of people also don't get an idea that in optimization there is a very big thing that is called keywords. For
Mm,
example, if you are searching for something specifically, because recruiters are usually on hunt, and what I'm seeing, for example, if I share you example about Pakistan, India, or the region from the Asian region, a lot of people want to go to UAE and other countries to get their good jobs and all. But
mm,
they should also know the importance of LinkedIn keywords, because what's the keyword there should be in your profile. And to be very honest, a lot of people that I came across with, they do have LinkedIn profiles, but they don't have their proper about section. I
mm,
personally believe that every section on LinkedIn it's very, very crucial, because you can add keywords, and you can add your experience, you can add your portfolio. We'll talk about the portfolio part as well, but as far as keywords, what specific strategy that you are following? Are you using any AI generation keywords, or are you looking for different content creators and getting inspired from their content? Okay, fine. These are the hashtag they are using. So I
mm.
might be using those hashtags so my content can also be reach out to the people who are hiring for creative professionals or something like that. What's your thought process on that?
So I've actually been using regarding the job market. So I was looking in the job market what the job description would be. So if I'm looking as a senior creative, what a senior creative requires. And like I said, it's very important to put your experience. And that's I think the most crucial part where you can use your keywords. So keywords should be also from your like experience that you might already have. And over there, when you list a job experience and you describe it, and like I said, you try to include as much as possible the achievements you've had. Then there you can also put, even has an option to put the kind of skills you've used in that job, and that's very important because that's what they look for, especially for recruitment and like recruiters. So they will know, oh, we want Premiere Pro, we want Adobe, we want editing or content creation or marketing strategy. So these are kind of keywords that would match the job description. That would be the best. I used to not use at all AI when I first created my LinkedIn, but now it's became a new thing. And ChatGPT, I would say openly, is my best friend. I do use it a lot for research as well. So over there, even I think the free version, you can easily ask, how can I optimize? What keywords would match my field of work? And then you'll be able to see a lot of keywords. And then those keywords, you can see how you can match them to your work aspects or create some posts about it. That would be
Perfect.
my advice.
You just mentioned about ChatGPT, and I'm also use that in my content creation because it's sometimes you have a content, but you need to structure it in properly, and
Mm,
maybe sometimes you need to have few keywords related to it. But what I'm seeing right now in the Asian people usually they are using AI a lot. So basically, there should be a mix of your personal preference as well as what you're taking and help from a chat GPT kind of a thing. Because right now, what I'm seeing that people might just go on chat GPT, they said that, "Hi, my name is Umair. I'm doing this. Can you please write a LinkedIn post for me?" And maybe
mm,
sometimes it's more AI, and people usually now people have an understanding about the AI
yeah.
thing, and you can read the content and you can know that these is totally AI generated or this is something that is being done by the person itself. So, but for example, what's your strategy in it? For example, do you make your first draft of your post and then take some help just to make it look good, structure the content, or it's something like that you're not using it, you're just using it for the keywords and you're just generating it for yourself personally.
So I use it mostly for research. And if I write, I like writing myself actually.
Oh.
So I write my things and then I put it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT does a wonder to correct it. So what's good about this that it still keeps my personality and it still keeps my voice. So it doesn't feel like, and technically it wasn't written then by AI. But I would ask as well for suggestions. So if some days I would need a strategy, I'll be like, okay, I have this and this. What would you suggest writing about? So I would see some suggestions, but I would never make my whole post AI because I think now, like you mentioned, more than ever, people are just so aware, and I too, I know, so I can tell if someone is just AI post. And then it doesn't feel personal. And even my whole business is all about authenticity and the part of storytelling. So I think it's important to still keep yourself and your own points and don't just leave it to AI because that's how you lose yourself as well. So,
Perfect. I do agree with the point because when the AI came up like 2 3 years ago, people were like very much into AI and they got,
mm,
okay, fine, this is something new. But nowadays it's I think 80% of the thing or 80% of the content is AI generated, and now the personal touch in the content is somehow uh, totally vanished.
yeah.
So I personally also believe that it should be authenticated because every person has a different perspective to it. Talking about the perspective and your personal approach, portfolio is also one of the most key component in your profile, in your personal career. To be very honest, I came across a lot of people who don't have their portfolio properly compiled. For example,
Mhm.
there are a lot of people maybe come to me, or maybe you are also come across a lot of people who has like everything in their Google Drive. I personally believe that it should be on your website. If not on your website, it should be on the correct platform, like the international standard platform. For example, Vimeo. If you want anything related to design, it should be on Behance. What sort of portfolio management that you are using? And also, what I see and what I'm doing is to showcase my personal work on LinkedIn as well, because a lot of the recruiters don't. don't have the prior knowledge about editing or creative, because sometimes what is done is like a hiring manager just says few words that I'm looking for this person, it should have these skill sets, and the HR person should like starting like just adding the keywords or maybe searching for people.
Mhm.
So what portfolio strategies that you're looking for? Are you managing your portfolio on a website, or you are using any such platform? Number one. Number second, how oftenly you start posting about your work? Because right now what I'm seeing that a lot of creative professionals are now using LinkedIn to showcase their work as well. So what's
Mhm.
your thought on that?
So I think from the beginning, if I didn't have a portfolio, I probably wouldn't have a job. So my first job, I remember straight after university, which is very challenging. I was asked, "Oh, where's your portfolio? We want, what's your website?" I was like, so you have no option, but at least in UK, we having a portfolio and a website, and in if you're in a creative career or this kind of careers that need one, is very important, and you get your job based on that portfolio most of the times. uh is actually you're lucky if you manage to also have something else besides your portfolio. This is why now LinkedIn is important, because even though you're beginning, you can and you don't have much in your portfolio, if you start already posting on LinkedIn, if you start putting your voice out there, then at least there's more to you, there's more to back you up, not just that portfolio. But I do use a website. In the beginning, first beginning, I think I started with something cheap as Wix. Just created my own at the time. But now I use. I'm going to migrate to something else, to WordPress. But I, for a while, for my portfolio, I've used Adobe Cloud. So for if it's already designers, you're already probably spending, have a subscription for Premiere Pro and all of these things. They also offer websites. They offer you 5 free websites. So all I did was buy my own domain, and then I used that platform to create my portfolio. Very easy, because it's all kind of built in. But I do think it's very important to have a portfolio if you're in this kind of roles. And there's also, like I said, cheaper ways around it if you're just beginning. You can do Wix, you can do Adobe if you already are in the cloud, and even Canva. I've created a website for my new company on Canva just in less than 24 hours because I was launching and I needed to show something. So it's possible to create something quick if you need it.
Perfect. So this part comes to the point. I'm seeing a lot of people now more towards the what I say courses, online courses. There are a lot of courses
Mhm.
from Coursera, Udemy, Domestika. A lot of people are doing that. And I personally believe that learning is something that is never ending kind of a thing. So you always learn a lot of things. In your career path, do you suggest people to have those skill set as well? Because a lot of people might be from some different background, but they do also have some interest in video editing or maybe production or maybe shoots or doing production related work. So are there any courses that you have done in your career as well rather than your degree? Also, what's your thought on it? Because I personally believe that this thing, like doing the licensing or doing the certification from different platforms, gives you another hike in your career because it's separate from different people. Because to be very honest, right now, I think 80% of the people are content creation. Like no matter what, if they're making reels by their own, they're also making content. So now you have to differentiate yourself and differentiate your skills as well. So what's your thought on it? Like, is it good to have it some courses from different platforms so you can be upskill your work? Are you using any or any suggestion for the audience?
Yes, I've like yourself. I always say it's important to keep learning, and you're always learning and adapting. Otherwise, you're dying. I have continuously done courses as well, like anything I could find online, and I did branch out. I went a lot into business. I even had at some point some art course, like you said. Even though it's not your area, but you can be lightened up about something else that can be quite useful. Some of them are okay. That's the thing. I think is all courses take time, so I think it's important to research well that you do the right course or it gives you the right kind of backbone or information. So you also don't spend your time always listening to the same. But a great free course as well is YouTube. There's so much out there that you can learn already. Even for my editing, I'm completely self taught from YouTube. I've learned that all by myself through like experience, learning, keep doing it, failing, looking at YouTube's online. How do I do this? So that was the way. But I do agree, you have to keep learning. Um, and yeah, there was also another point I wanted to
No
mention.
problem. No problem. Another thing that I just came up in my mind, for example, that you just shared that YouTube. So basically,
Mm,
what I'm seeing that a lot of people are making content on YouTube. And to be very honest, that also resonate to that point that you need to also work on your personal profile as well. For example, you need to know how to connect with people, how to talk to them, and there should be a like professional approach towards it. Like for example,
yeah.
if you want to close any client or if you want to go in another country, you need to understand the overall attire, overall language over there. So what do you think is important? Because in Asian people also, because why I'm mentioning that, because I'm from that background, and over here
Mm,
the career counseling thing is a bit off. People
mm.
usually don't have an idea that what they want to do. They might end up doing some degree, and then after a while they got to the point, okay, fine, I don't want to do that. So what sort of career plan that you have, or in UK specifically, if I'm talking about you, what sort of career plan do you guys like? Do you usually have? Do you have like career counselors that tell you about yourself, that these are the things, this is good, that will be telling you this is the right path? So do you have any career counseling program kind of a thing in UK that helps students to get the right point on that in life?
Normally, there's at school some careers counseling, or they can help you sometimes with your CV. But I wouldn't say actually it's that much. I do feel that should be a lot more prominent. But one good thing, at least in UK, what they do is that you do have work experience. So a lot of people manage to do some work experience before going to university, and then after university, you just lashed into the world. I actually didn't catch that time of work experience. I came a little bit later. So for me too, I just had to really make up my own mind about my career. I almost went into business as well, but then I thought, mm, I have a passion, I should follow a passion. So I managed to make it a bit later into business. Um, but I think the important thing is really a self work thing. It's really about looking what is your goal and what are your skill sets and what would you like to do. And it's okay to change that. It's okay that sometimes you studied something and then you realize you don't like it. Then you can still look at the skill set from that work or from that university, and then how can we apply to something else? Because nowadays people more than ever are transitioning into different things. It's a lot more fluid than, okay, you are a doctor, you will remain a doctor. There's many actually, even doctors. I follow one of them who now is just completely a content creator because she found a passion that she wants to help women, to bring more health issues into like awareness, and then she followed that passion into content creation. But once again, is something that is tying in experience and keeping it still professional. I think that's the main point, because you did mention many times there's many people creating content, but then the question is, but why are you creating that content? I think it's very important to not just create content for the sake of it.
Perfect. Related to this thing that came up in my mind is a strategy. So basically, I don't have any specific strategy when it comes to LinkedIn content, because I see a lot of people who believe that quality matters. and they
Mm.
are posting less, but the quality is good. Like the content they're providing to the audience, educational content related to their business is good enough. Some people think that quality is the secondary thing. There should be quantity, like they are posting every day, twice a day, or maybe 7 times a week. But what sort of strategy that you started from, and now what sort of strategy that you're following, if there's any?
So my strategy before was also quality. I didn't want to put just anything out there, but now I will branch out into more quantity as well. So I'm trying to I will try to keep the quality, but also more quantity. But why quantity? Quantity is good because you gain visibility. So the more you are out there, the more people are able to remember you or see you, or just get something out of you. That's the same with marketing. When you see Coca-Cola, then you see it a couple more times, then you're like, oh, maybe I really want to drink one out of sudden. But it's all like psychological. But I still believe, I don't know, there's a lot of content creators I follow on LinkedIn that sometimes I want to unfollow because there's so much content. There's just so, like, this is almost too much. And I do feel it's just for the content's sake. It's just for the sake of, like, let me just put myself out there because I want to be on top of the algorithm. But then if you're not providing the quality and the value, then I think that's more important.
Agree. That's come to another point that a lot of people do, what you say, they don't take risk in life. For example,
Mm.
I see a lot of people from my country as well. If they are working in some company, they won't leave the company and try to work for other person or other company because they think that they are in their comfort zone. They don't want to explore anything. But on the other side, what I'm seeing, the creative people like us, we both are, and the people that and on the creative people, they are always on the toes. We want to we want to take a lot of challenges, go to different clients, try to work different perspective because in creatively there's also a very branch perspective to it. Like there are people who are working corporately, there are working people who are doing weddings, there are people who are doing mix of both. So, what do you think how important is to take risk? Because to be very honest, what I personally believe from my overall experience is you should have to take a proper risk at a certain time to reach to the certain level. For example, for example, you are doing good in UK. Why you came to UAE? A lot of people join, like a lot of people flow back to just for the GitX thing, just to explore with a lot of things, like to connect to connection building. What do you think importance of risk? And the second most thing important thing is, do you think that people should don't worry about the mistakes? Because what I personally believe that people usually don't do it because they thought that they will be doing it wrong. But I personally believe that doing it, like you should also always try it. One, like you might be wrong for the first time, second time, third time, but or the fourth or fifth time you might be right, or you get the overall idea about how to do it. So what do you think about risk, and do you have any mistakes that you have done before and then you want to like explore and now you're not doing it?
It's an interesting question because you ask any entrepreneur, they're like, yes, take all the risks, jump, without thinking. And some parts of it I agree, and some parts I don't actually personally. So I had to take a risk myself too. And even when I said about my career choice, and now when I quit the corporate world as well, when I quit, I didn't have even clients aligned. I just quit and I thought, well, let's do something. And I opened my business and then it worked out. But if I didn't have taken that risk, I wouldn't have my business. I probably would have gotten back to the job market. Um, and then I would just keep going around and around. And maybe I would have had some progress, but it's slow progress. And you first mentioned there's a lot of people who remain in the same job. But to remain in the same job it's great, you have loyalty and you learn maybe different things, and yes, it makes you comfortable. But I think comfort, it's really the enemy of progress. Because even in UK, we know if you move to another company, you can already ask for more salary, and maybe you change the perspective, you learn something else, and then you move to another company, then you more salary and you learn something else. So even if you have no interest in entrepreneurship or having your own business and you like a job, and that's okay, then it's still better to keep sometimes changing, even if it's like in 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, or because that will progress in terms of like money, but also in terms of experience. And then you do meet new people. Staying long term in a company nowadays, there's not much benefit. It's not like back in the day where you used to grow so much. And in terms of taking risks, yes, take risks, but I think you can also take calculated risks. So you don't
Agree.
need to completely you don't need to
Mm.
completely jump. Although I did that myself in the past too, but for some reason I felt there was something, uh, you know I could have had a backup if I went back to a job. But you can make mistakes, but I think if you make calculated risks, then you eliminate those mistakes as well. But then it's okay when you're creating something from the beginning. It takes a long time, and it's okay to try. And in the end, at the end of the day, I think it's a bigger reward as well when you can make a risk, make some progress, do something else, try something new.
Perfect. Just the last thing that I have in mind is, for example, if I ask you like, what are the three mistakes that you are seeing that students are doing? Like, for example, what I'm seeing over here that students are not taking LinkedIn seriously. Students are not into the communication kind of a thing, like when they communicate with different people, connect with different people. Because it's to be very honest, right now it's not about UK, UAE, Pakistan, or any other country. It's about take a challenge, do something
Mm.
different, and maybe sometime it will work, sometime it won't work. I just want to ask that if there's anything like three pointers or three different like three main things that you want to highlight, that these are the things that you always need to stay connected with, and that will help you in to grow your professional career, or maybe to grow your company or anything like that. Any thought that might help the people, or that might help the listener to learn about it.
Yeah, so I would start with LinkedIn. Definitely optimize the LinkedIn. Make a profile, put over there the experience, put yourself as well. Even if you don't create video content, at least you can create some pictures or add some value and knowledge that you might have. And with that, I would say keep it professional, because it's very important to not just. That's a mistake I've seen when a lot of people are treating it like Facebook or Instagram. There's a lot of people who don't like that, especially maybe the older generation or the generation who are in the higher up roles, which is very important because they are the ones giving the job, or normally, wanting to hire. So I think still keep it professional and have a mix with personality, but still professionalism, but definitely optimize LinkedIn. Create a portfolio. That's one of the thing. And also a mistake I've seen is the way sometimes people approach on LinkedIn. They, it's like, hey, can you give me a job? Or hey, can you help me move here? And I'm like, I don't know you. And then second of all, who are you? It's maybe a good point as well to have a little introduction. And this is an example of a exercise I had to do myself as well for when I'm having my with my business. When we go to network, how do you introduce yourself? You need to have that one sentence. So I think to work in that 1 or 2 line sentence about yourself is very important, not just for the online but also offline, because you want to be quick. When I ask, hey, so who are you, I'm like, oh dear, you need to know how to respond. So yeah, LinkedIn, keep it professional, have that introduction about yourself. And I think it needs a strategy. Is what I said about calculated risks. You first need to sit down and think what you want to do and what you want to achieve, and then the why. And that really should drive everything. I am creating content on LinkedIn, but why? I'm putting this video on YouTube, but why? What is the goal? What is the path? Oh, it's because I want to be like a website developer. Okay, so if maybe what is the step? I need to get a degree. Maybe I can connect with that developer. Maybe I can speak. Hey, how did you get there? Maybe I should find an event. But if you have, first of all, a goal in mind, that is so much easier to make the path clearer of what you have to do, and then concentrate on creating content about this rather than I don't know what I want to do. If it's too open, it makes life really hard, both for yourself and also the people who are viewing the content or like from the outside.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this session. I really appreciate you taking out time for this session. I'm pretty much sure that people will also learn a lot of things because uh, the main point of doing this session is to have a different perspective from a different
Mm,
region as well. Because to be very honest, a lot of people think that working in UK, working in UAE, or maybe working in any other country, it's a piece of cake. It's not like that. Everyone,
yeah.
you need to work on yourself, you need to work on your skill set, and every company, every country has that thing. So I'm pretty much sure that a lot of people learn a lot of things. I learn a lot of things from you as well. And thank you
Right.
so much. Thank you so much for your time. And hopefully this episode will help a lot of people. Thank you. Thank you.